one voice with the hip-hop motivator, Sean Anthony, on iPower 92.1. Interactive hip-hop and R&B.
Yo, this is Sean Anthony, the hip-hop motivator. Welcome to another edition of The Power of One Voice. I'm very excited to bring to you one of hip-hop's greatest lyricists of our generation. Born Nasir bin Olu Dorar Jones, September 14th, 1973. He's the son of a jazz musician. His father's name is Olu Dara. He was born and raised in Queensbridge housing projects in New York City. Although Nas dropped out of middle school, his debut album, Illmatic, was released in 1994 by Columbia Records. This album was critically acclaimed and will go on to be widely held a classic in the hip-hop genre. Nas was part of the hip-hop supergroup The Firm, which released one album. From 2001 to 2005, Nas was involved in a widely publicized feud with rapper Jay-Z. Both rappers verbally attacked each other in their songs. The two formally ended their rivalry through duet performances at concerts sponsored by New York City area hip-hop radio station. In 2006, he signed to Def Jam, releasing his albums Hip Hop Is Dead and the controversial Untitled album in 2008. Beginning in 94 with Illmatic, From It Was Written, The Firm, I Am, Nostradamus, Stillmatic, Godson, Street Disciples, Hip Hop Is Dead, the Untitled album, and now in stores, Distant Relatives with Damian Marley. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to introduce to you Nas.
Peace, what up?
Nas, what's happening, man?
Oh, man, everything is good.
You are my favorite rapper ever. Hearing that as often as you do, you're like on everyone's favorite MC's list. How are you able to stay so humble hearing that all the time?
It's all good. I mean, you know, it's like don't get beside yourself. Don't get big-headed. You know what I mean? Don't crash and burn. You know what I mean? I was always the kind of person that was just easy in regular life, and in the music life, I'm the same kind of dude. So it's all good, man. I just feel honored by that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't pay too much attention to it, really, though.
So you don't pay attention to the hype? Gotcha.
Yeah. You got to just do you, stay in your lane.
All right, Nas, on the Nick album, you did a song called We're Not Alone. You did an entire song about seeing UFOs. Number one, why do you think that no one really asked you about that, you know, when you were promoting the album after it was released? And number two, what prompted you to record an entire song like that many rappers won't even touch?
I mean, because people going to say you crazy, you know what I mean? But I've been called crazy forever. And, you know, everyone is scared to talk about things that people are scared to hear. But, you know, at this time in my life, you know what I mean? Like, I done touched on many subjects before that was real. So this is another real subject that I just needed to touch on. And it is funny nobody really asked me about it because no one's ever, I don't know if anybody's ever in hip-hop said they seen one of them things before,
right?
Openly. You know what I'm saying?
But you know,
it's probably the first open conversation I had about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I didn't mean to cut you off. In hip-hop, it's you don't find artists touching on things like that. Most, especially nowadays, is sex, drugs, and money. And you always consistently have a wide array of topics on your albums. I think that is a testament to your success and your longevity in your career.
Yeah, I keep it way 100. I keep it so 100. Like if you talk to most dudes or a boss dude, men with strong minds who know what sex, money, and murder is all about, if you really sit down and talk to them when all the music is down, when the crew leaves, when you have a heart-to-heart with a grown man about what's really going on, you'd be surprised just because this man lives his life in the street that way. Them are some of the deepest dudes you could come across, and the things they know, you wouldn't think it is, because when they dealing with wolves in the street or wherever they at, or they're in prison, you know what I mean? You're not really dealing with that kind of open-minded conversation. So I just touch on things that, your homeboy don't let you know that he know about or read about or heard about, but I might say something that might spark interest in this dude over there, and then he trying to check for what I'm talking about. But really, it's just real normal stuff I'm talking about, day-to-day stuff that goes on in the world.
Right, in the world and not the hood. And I think that's very interesting. You've also spoke about on your albums, you reading different books and stuff like that. What was the last book you read?
Last book I read was Tuesdays with Maury. It's about this student and this professor. I'm self-taught, man. I'm like, I love books. I love checking out something when I can. I don't get too crazy with it. I'm not a professor. I'm not, the serious bookworm. But in a lot of ways, the books are my friends, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they really my friends. And I was just told at an early age, if I want to be a writer, then I need to read. So I definitely want to be a writer. So.
And you said that the name of that book is Tuesdays with Maury?
Tuesdays with Maury, man. Heavy, just about life, you know what I mean? And another one was called When We Ruled. The first book you're going to find easier. When We Ruled, I found in the hood in L.A. at a black bookstore, so it's kind of hard. You might have to go online. There's a lot of history about Africa, ancient Africa, stuff that they don't tell you about, stuff that's not talked about purposely, you know what I mean? And it's really informative.
Now, Nas, I've also read recently that you dropped out of high school. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
I think it's very interesting how much you do read, even though you kind of downplayed it a little bit, but it's evident that you read a lot because of your topics and your music is very diverse, and you're talking about different things, different cultures, different religions, and just different ways of life throughout the world. Give some words of wisdom to the young people out there that may be in school or may be considering dropping out or what have you.
I look at it like, school is definitely a place that your concentration needs to be full, and a lot of times that ain't the case. When you're dealing with kids coming from communities like where I grew up in Queensbridge, you know what I mean? It's like you got a lot of distractions. And people outside of the hood, they hear us say that, they think we're making excuses. Try living there, and you'll see what we're talking about. Try walking to school every day. Try dealing with what's going on in those communities every day. You know what I'm saying? You will see an AK-47 in the hood. You might not see it in the suburbs as much. You will see one of those things in the hood. And you will see poverty. Where there's poverty, there's poor schools. Where there's poor schools, there's poor education. You understand? So it's a lot of things that we can't keep concentrating on. And then, we start to want that money. We want to live the American dream. I would say you can live your hustle, but school is also a hustle. You cannot learn everything in school. I read a lot of books, but I also read life. I read every day. I look at the world, look at the day that I'm in. I read just the air. You know what I mean? I say that in a way like I just read the day, what's going on throughout the day. But if you can find books if you're interested in African history, African American history, their authors, J.A. Rogers is a great author to look for. Ivan Van Sertima is a great author to look for, and he made a book called They Came Before Columbus. Meaning there's proof of Africans being here in America years and years and years before Christopher Columbus landed here. These are just things that I got excited about when I was reading. Maybe somebody else could hear about it, pick up the book too, but there's tons of books about our history, just about world history.
We are talking to one of the greatest lyricists in our era in hip-hop period, Nas. This is Sean Anthony. Nas, tying into that question, I guess to your last statement, what inspires you to write the music? Would you say basically what you just mentioned, life and the day you're in and the books that you read and so on and so forth? Is that what inspires you to write the songs that you do?
Yes, yeah. Life is beautiful. You know what I mean? A lot of times we look at it and say, I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm going to hurt somebody to get it, or this dude. A lot of dudes get hurt over $50. Like $50? Paper? Money? That's nothing. Like we hurt each other over humiliation.
No doubt.
We quickly humiliated. We quickly think somebody played us. We'll do 25 years because we think somebody played us, right? We're not thinking about the larger scale. We're not thinking about what we mean by staying out of jail. What do we mean to this world? And we could be here for our family. We could be here for our kids. I'm around dudes that come home from murder. I'm around dudes that come home from drug bids. They didn't want to go to jail. They didn't want to commit that murder necessarily. They didn't want to have to sell those drugs necessarily. But they are, it is what it is, and what happened, happened. Now's the time that they're home to take their life into a different direction. When I see these things happening, I think of my position and think I've been blessed. I've been blessed to sell all these records. I've been blessed to be around this long to inspire. So all of these people that are around me, they give to me, and I try to just give back through the music.
Yo, stay right there, Nas. Yo, we're talking to Nas. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Nas the importance of having good people around you. It's the Power of One Voice on iPower 92.1. I'm Sean Anthony, the Hip Hop Motivator. Stay right there.
Get motivated, get motivated, get motivated, get motivated. Hip Hop Motivator, blow of wisdom on the mic with Sean Anthony. Get motivated, get motivated, get motivated, get motivated.
We'll be back with the Power of One Voice with the Hip Hop Motivator, Sean Anthony, on iPower 92.1. Interactive hip hop and R&B.